Today on the Trust the Plan podcast, we're talking about the 8 most important ages in retirement planning. Stay tuned. Welcome everyone to episode 212 of the Trust the Plan podcast. I'm Nick.
And I'm Jim.
And Jim, I've got my Michigan gear on today.
Yeah.
Pretty happy celebrating after the national championship.
Absolutely.
Does it get any better than this?
I don't think it can. It was pretty exciting, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So where'd you watch the Rose Bowl?
Actually, we had a pretty cool Rose Bowl experience where we were in Florida getting ready to take our trip. So we were just at a sports bar down in Miami, and the whole place was Michigan fans.
Nice.
So every great play by Michigan got a good rise out of the crowd, and it was fun to be there with everyone on the final stop there at the end.
So you're about to get on your cruise.
Yeah, it was the day before. Yep.
So I was on the cruise, and I got to the sports bar on the cruise ship because that was really the only place that you could watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I got there early and kind of corralled off a whole section. Yeah. And over the course of the week, you meet some people, and I invited them into our section, because they're Michigan fans.
Your VIP room. Yeah.
I even invited one Ohio State fan because he was a friendly foe.
Okay, good.
So that was a lot of fun. But the people, and then we ended up going to Houston for the national championship game. I took Hunter and Jack, and that was a special time. But for people that went to both the Rose Bowl and the CFP game, people say the Rose Bowl is better.
Yeah.
Which I understand because, you have the setting, the scene, the tradition, the history. Mm-hmm. You got Alabama.
Yeah.
And the SEC challenge.
Right.
So I get that.
And the way the game ended too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a climactic ending, right?
Correct.
As opposed to the playoff game was close. It could go either way, and then we finally broke it open there a little bit at the end. But not quite the drama.
Absolutely. And so was the Rose Bowl the national championship? Maybe. But I think that the Rose Bowl should be the host of the national championship game every year.
Yeah.
Not the Rose Bowl game, but the Rose Bowl is, the Rose Bowl should be, like next year we're going into this 12-team playoff.
Yeah.
And I think there should be home games, for the, kind of like they do in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
But then the Super Bowl, right, should always be in Pasadena. What do you think?
Yeah, why not? Not convenient to get to, though.
I don't care. Yeah. If you're going there once every 26 years.
Yeah, you can figure it out. Good point.
And let me say, I was at the Rose Bowl January 1, 98, which was, outstanding. I was a freshman. And as I reflect on this, I'd meet people that went to Michigan or whatever, and that was like what I used to say. Is like, I was a freshman in 97.
Yeah.
Like, that's just, I would always bring it up because it was such a special year.
Right.
And now, right, think about intern Ben.
Yeah.
This guy's a junior.
Right.
And he's got 3 Big Ten championships. His record is 40-3 as a student. I mean,
pretty impressive.
Yeah, very impressive.
Good run.
So, over the next 20 years, that's what he's going to say. He's like, I was a junior in 23,
Yep. Yep, for
sure. So anyway, I had to bring the kids, though, because, if it's going to be 26 years, then they're going to be my age.
Yeah.
Right, next time it comes around.
There you go.
So anyway, congratulations to the Michigan football Wolverines and their fans.
For sure.
Okay, so today we're talking about the 8 most important ages in retirement planning. So there's, some real, usual suspects here in terms of the ages, but some others that people might not always be thinking about. Jim, what's our first age?
First one is age 50. Some people might be aware of it, but that's catch-ups, right? Once you hit 50 is when you can start making catch-up contributions on 401ks, on IRAs, on your Roths, on your HSAs. All the different accounts are now eligible for some catch-up contributions.
And it's getting meaningful, right? They keep widening that gap as to what a catch-up means. It's like over 7,000 now, right?
Yeah, on the 401s, it's definitely a meaningful contribution.
Absolutely. And then next is age 55. And this is one that most people probably don't know about. But if you leave your company after the age of 55 and there's still money in your 401, you can take that money out without paying a 10% early withdrawal penalty. So usually the age, and this is our next age, is 59 and a half. And that's what most people have in their head as a penalty-free IRA withdrawal. But if you've separated from service and you still have the money in the 401, the age is actually 55 rather than 59 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
What about after 59, Jim?
Yeah, after the 59 and a half, the next milestone is 62. That is when you first become eligible for Social Security. It is, of course, a reduced contribution at age 62, but that is the time where you can start thinking about taking that Social Security benefit that you've earned.
I used to say, guys, it's really hard to retire before 62 because that's the earliest for Social Security. But now the line is, and that's the next age,
Right.
65. Guys, it's really hard to retire before 65 because of medical insurance, because of the health insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And Medicare will kick in at age 65. So that's a really important date. And then, Jim, what's the next one?
After that, it's a little bit of a range, but in that 66 to 67 range is when most people hit their full Social Security amount, their full retirement age, which is where you can now receive a non-reduced Social Security benefit.
And it's a little misleading, right? Because at 67, it says full,
Yeah.
but really you could delay and get more.
Right.
Which is the next age,
Yeah.
age 70. Age 70 is the last, there's no more incentive to delay. Like
Yeah.
you're a moron if you delay because you're just not going to get the money.
Right.
And you have to make that election. You can't it just doesn't turn on automatically. So 67 for Jim and I in our age bracket for the full social, but that's a little misleading because the max social is age 70.
Right.
One other thing about the 67 age, that's when you can make unlimited wages.
Yeah, good point.
And collect social. And so if you collect Social Security before 67 and you're making decent money, you will be forfeiting some of your benefit.
Withheld, yeah.
Yeah. And then 70 max social, and then what's the last one, Jim?
That's 73, which at this point is the RMD age. So once you've reached the age of 73, the IRS starts forcing you to take money out of those pre-tax retirement accounts, your IRAs, your 401ks, and so forth.
And what's interesting here is that this is kind of a temporary age because by the time we get there, it'll be age 75.
Yep.
So 73 today, formerly 70 and a half.
Yeah.
Formerly 72, now 73, soon to be 75. I don't want to confuse you.
A lot of change in that number recently, but yeah, the takeaway is when you hit that RMD eligible age is you need to start taking money out of the 401s and the IRAs. Otherwise, there's some pretty hefty penalties from the IRS.
So Jim, with all this said, are you subject to any of these ages yet?
Unfortunately, I am not. I'm hanging on by a thread, but I am still not eligible for any of those.
Okay, I'm just checking because I thought maybe you hit the big 5-0. No, I'm not sure.
That's fair.
Sure.
No, not yet.
All right. So any reinforcements here that you want to make to drive home the point here?
I just think the closer you get to retirement, it's important to be aware of these ages to know what kind of things are coming down the road and what kind of rules may be attached to them. I think you brought up a great point with the full retirement age. And once you reach that, you can now have a full income and not worry about your Social Security being reduced. Things like that are important to know, and I think this timeline does a good job of helping you be aware.
Well said. At Peak Wealth Management, we believe by providing education and guidance, we can help you make great financial decisions leading to retirement with peak confidence. If you'd like to learn more, visit us at peakwm.com. Thank you.